minds, our very spirits. May these be acceptable in your sight, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Well, what is it that feeds the soul? What is it that connects us to God and all that is holy? What is our purpose? What gives our lives meaning? These are core questions of our faith. To answer them this morning, or to help do so, I want to turn to a children's book. It is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. He writes, "Once there was a tree, and the tree loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and climb in the tree's trunk and swing from its branches and eat its apples. They would play hide and go seek, and when the boy was tired, he would sleep in the shade of the tree. The boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. The time went on, and the boy, he grew older, and the tree was now often alone. And then one day, the boy came back to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and play in my trunk. Swing from my branches, eat my apples, play in my shade, and be happy. I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things, and I want to have fun. I want some money. Can you give me any money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree. "I have no money. I only have leaves and apples. Take my apples and sell them in the city. Then you will have money, and then you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree, gathered the apples, and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away a long time. The tree became sad. Then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy and said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk, swing from my branches, and be happy." "Too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you can cut off all my branches and trunk and build a house, and then you will be happy." And so the boy did so. He cut off the branches, he carried them away to build his house, and the tree was happy, but not really. Without leaves, the tree became weaker. When the boy came back much later, the tree could only muster up a whisper, "I'm sorry, boy. I have nothing left to give you. I'm just an old stump." "I don't need anything now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired." "Well," said the tree, "an old stump is good for sitting. And it's good for resting. So come, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And that's the end. It's a sad story, this story. It's a story of giving. It's a story of receiving, but never in this book does the word thanks appear. Maybe Shel Silverstein is a descendant of one of those 9 lepers. I don't know. But too often, this sad story is our sad story. For we, like the boy, we seek happiness and fulfillment, meaning, through the acquisition of things. Which is why the boy asked the tree, and so often we ask of God for money, for things, for the means to make money, Yet these do not make the boy happy. They don't feed his soul. They don't give him a sense of meaning and purpose. They don't connect him to God or anything holy. They don't even connect him to the tree, which he once loved. For the more the boy takes, the more distant their relationship becomes. All give or all take does not a relationship make. In the end, the boy's pursuit of happiness through the acquisition of things leaves him lonely, it leaves him sad, and definitely not happy. So what is it then? What feeds the soul? What gives meaning and purpose to our lives? What connects us to God and to others? What brings fulfillment and joy? There were 10 lepers in our scripture this morning. They asked Jesus to heal them of their leprosy, and Jesus gives them that very gift, a physical healing. But of the 10, only one gives something back to Jesus. Only one returned to give Jesus thanks, to give gratitude for the gift that was given. And it was that giving, that action of the one leper that led to a second healing. For Jesus said to him, "What you have done, your faithfulness in returning and giving thanks has made you whole." Whole, not just well. Physically. This leper, unlike the other 9, is not healed only in body. He is healed also in his soul, body and mind and spirit. And so he becomes whole. And here's the thing, Jesus didn't do it. Jesus didn't bring around that second healing. The man himself did it. Jesus said that your actions, your faith, your giving thanks has made you whole. It has healed your very soul. It is his giving back that reconnected that one leper with Jesus, something the other 9 never received. To be whole, body and soul, we must create a balance between give and take. And that's the problem in the giving tree. The tree is all giving. The boy is all taking. Neither is balanced. Neither models are one of give and take. One leads to an enabling abuse. The other to a lonely and sad self-centeredness. Neither brings happiness. Neither feeds the spirit. Tithing is God's way to create balance in our relationship with God. It is God's way of teaching us to give joyfully and receive humbly. Tithing is giving back to God a portion of what we have received. Not because God needs it. I'm not sure that God needs whatever it is that we can give to God. But we do need it. Our soul, in order to be whole, need to give. In order to thrive and grow, in order to become connected to God, to deepen our relationship with God, we need to give. If we do not give back, our soul suffers from a spiritual malnutrition. Giving, serving others, that is what feeds the souls, keeps us from that malnutrition. It weaves God's own spirit, which is the giver of all things, into the fabric of our own being. And it is that weaving together, God and us, that makes us whole. When we don't give back, When we only take, like the boy, our soul begins to wither into self-centeredness, into a sense of entitlement, into a spirit of complaint and demands, which are the very signs of a malnourished spirit. Ultimately, that kind of being breaks relationships. It leaves us sad and alone, as we saw in the giving tree. But that one leper avoids that fate, and so can we. But to do so, we must find a balance between giving and taking. We must learn to give joyfully, not reluctantly, and we must receive humbly. This past week, you all received a letter introducing the stewardship campaign for the church. It's the same letter that you found in your chairs this morning. It is an invitation. That's what it's meant to be, not a burden. An invitation to feed your soul, to weave it ever closer in relationship with God, with one another, with this faith community. It's a way to give back, to establish a little give and take for all that we have received from God, from this church, every Sunday, from this community of faith, the companionship, the support that we find every Sunday. And so today and every day, in all of our relationships, ours with this faith community, with God, with one another, in our families, with our spouses, our children, our parents, our workplaces, may we find a giving spirit. May we create a little give and take. May we display the wisdom shown by that one leper, so that we may know in our lives and be made not just well, but so that we may become whole. Amen.